Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Samuel Durbidge, or Samuel Loomis Newly Awakened, and I want to bring up chapter overview. I think it's a book overview, which is page 19. I will be reading it from page 19 all the way, to my knowledge, 28? Yeah, to page 28. So let's get into this. So this is probably one of my favorite overviews, just because it's the last one before the book. It brings up some personal feelings and some very unique ideas that kind of go over the overview of the book to a degree. Not really the full overview of the book, like I've tried to, but it was more of a overview of some of the things that would be brought up in the book. So let's go into that. So on page 19, we'll start with, for the book overview, and I don't say it's a chapter, but it's the book overview chapter, or whatever you want to call it. So let's just go into that. I have come up with many ideas on how aliens could exist and solutions on how to battle them. Okay. I would say let's not fight any beings of any kind. I wasn't at the point where I was aware of the abilities. So I was talking about any alien beings or beings that if we needed to, we would need the same tech they have or something that could stop their tech. And that's pretty obvious for those that are smart enough to be aware of that or think about it. But also not letting our emotions affect us, be smart and strategic, but with our heart in it. I have a different approach now. I'm not about fighting or going after anything unless we really have to. I follow the Jedi Code idea, and I have that, and maybe you'll already see that as part of one of my slideshows for the book readings. I might do it for the book overview chapter, but yeah, it's all about the focus on who you want to be and who you feel is important to be. I'm all about following an idea of the light side rather than the dark side, but I'm more of a balance, but I don't believe in doing anything that really harms. I'm more about healing and peace and creating. At the same time, it's kind of up to your individual choice on what kind of form of powers you want, and not thinking or feeling that the powers will overwhelm you or affect you if you choose to use them certain ways. You just be aware of it and do what you feel is right towards your path. So here we go. So the book overview is more of a focus and a direction, a path that you've chosen or feel is important to follow through with. So, many religions, and I'll start with that second sentence there, many religions have secret connections and beliefs, and the connections to the law of attraction, while giving a new look at belief, has given a reason for being and help combat the lies we are told in society. Ha! I like this. That's exactly what happens and what has occurred. Even when I was still part of the church at that time, I was back and forth about the feelings about it. And this sentence shows that right there, of my struggle of awareness, that there, in all society, even in the religion I felt I was a part of, I knew that there was some falsehoods within that religion and other religions for a controlled system. Doesn't mean that the good that the religions try to teach are bad. It just means the history and the way that they felt is okay within all societies, and in the scriptures and Bible and everything, talking about how they should do stuff, or that if God told them to kill their son or to do something like that, and to test them or try them or cut off the head of a dude so that people won't dwindle in unbelief. But then the guy that you want to kill is someone that's drunk. It's all controlled programming within the scripture stories. And even if those stories were true and it was history, they were being deceived back then to follow a path of what their society taught them, to teach us to keep it going, and that's not the way we should do things. I think they were being influenced or misinterpreting the beings, and even if the beings were teaching that, they probably knew that the people wouldn't do it, but even to ask them to do it, I think was wrong with them. I don't really worry about how powerful or how high they are, or that they have the right to do that or not. They chose to do that in their life path, even if they're higher forms than me or any of us. I don't agree with their reasoning behind that to influence. And maybe they had their reasons, and I would think that they would understand, if they're good beings, why I would disagree with what their choice on that was. But I don't know what they knew, and I'm sure they would forgive me if they're really, truly peaceful beings, because they would understand to a degree of it. And if they don't, then they're not really enlightened. And that's just how I see it. And maybe they're enlightened to a point, but they miss the learnings of what I just learned. And so I think history is changing and awareness is changing, and their perceptions have changed. And so I think scriptures and stuff are altering to a peaceful form of reality in all realities in all time. I think it's correcting itself. And I think there was a reason why it was caused, if there was. Many people bring up the fact of time travel alterations to try to control, so that the evil can live longer when they should never have been able to be allowed to, because they're just causing more pain for themselves and other versions of themselves. And we don't want that. We want to be healed. But that was their form of desire for their paths, and so it was allowed, but now it's being corrected. And that's how I see it now. But it's just taking time for it to come together, possibly for whatever reason, but I think it will correct itself. And if it doesn't, we're just going to do what's the next right thing so that we can, whatever is needed. But we don't need to expect it to happen within a really difficult way, or it'll just be very simply done, and it's not going to be hard or difficult. And whatever difficulty or hardness is, it will heal itself, and we'll all be okay by focusing on peace and everything. And so that's what I'm saying. Even our religions sometimes avoid or completely deny outright info that isn't fully known or aware of, so that we follow without question, or avoid noticing due to policies and political laws, or because it's new, or coming out when they didn't know about it when they always knew about it. They just didn't know it would come in the perspective that it did, because everybody has different insights, and the more the society keeps going, they bring up the same insights with the technology and new insights that we bring up, and so it comes out in certain ways, so people have to justify it multiple ways until they realize they can't justify the actions anymore, and they're realizing they have to choose a side. That's what I'm realizing, is the good beings of all religions now are choosing a side, and we're all choosing peace or harm or abuse or whatever, and that's part of harm. But it's basically peace, healing, or harm, abuse, control, slavery. So it's either slavery or freedom. That's what it is. And so it's a choice between those two, and many other reasons, but that's basically what it goes down to. One side will be free, another side will be slaved, and then there will be like a neutral parties of different forms where there's slavery and freedom and whatever that society decides, until they're ready to be free, or until they're done with the slave form so they can move on to being part of the free. And so it's kind of what you feel you deserve, and what your thoughts and feelings and beliefs are, or what you choose to accept and allow, thinking that you deserve it or require it, and when you really don't. And that's where, when you finally realize you don't want it, the good ones will free you if you ask for it to be freed. Even if you don't, will notice it. The good ones will notice it. The peaceful ones will notice it, the energies, and will help. And that's how I see it as and feel it as. And I don't know how I know this. I just do. And I know it sounds weird and strange, but many people will understand it to a degree. But I understand it without needing to understand it. And so I've come to realize it's about a choice that you make. It's not really about whether you're good or bad. It's about what is it you really want and why is it you want it. It's because of what you will witness, what feels better and what doesn't. And when you choose that path, regardless how struggle it may bring you or has brought you or have been told it will bring you, you just need to make that choice and that decision and break free from the bondage and make that choice like I did. And there's a process to it. There's a way to do it. And it's very simple, and you just get out of it. And even if you're stuck in it, even if you would want to get out of it, the system of control is breaking down. So anybody being controlled by it, those mechanisms, those technologies are shutting down. They're breaking apart, and they're freeing your soul. And the way to do that is to shut down the system. Take down the conduits of controls so people are free, so that you're free and everybody's free. It's about freeing everyone. It's about freeing the system, freeing the life, freeing the happiness, freeing the soul. That's what it's about. It's the freedom of freedom. It's the freedom of life. It's the freedom of not being destroyed. It's really about freedom. And I know it's difficult to see it that way, but that's what it is. It's the freedom of everything. So here we go. Yeah, so political laws are because it's new, and it's not just because it's new, it's just because they want it to be that way. It's still old. It's an old system that's been around that they say is a new system or new information when they call it the New Agers about a lot of this information of agnostic teachings, but it's not New Age. It's talking about the New Age, the millennial age. Many people call it many different names. It's the peaceful age. We're in the peaceful age. This is the time when the peaceful age is going to be created, is meant to have. And I was told that by the higher form, and me being a millennial is one of those that bring it into being. And it frees us from being enslaved or being put in a controlled system by a 666 controller or AI controller or others. It's about following your heart and not letting controls like that enslave you or think that you will be because others say you will or try to label you as. This is about freeing yourself and being who you know is right to be. That means don't shake the mark if there is going to be a mark of any kind. Don't put a chip in your hand or forehead. It's too close to the scripture evil controls. And you don't need that. You just go for natural healing and natural foods and meditate and pray and fast if you feel like fasting, if it's safe for you to fast. But find ways to heal and just focus on healing. So here we go. No, there is some confusion at first before connections of such things is realized over time. With this idea comes questions on what information and solutions can be done and realizations on how to use the law of attraction to solve the issues of fear and corruptions of those who choose to control. Many societies, secret or procedures within societies, such as politics or even religious views and rules in social societies, are explained within this book. Throughout this book, I will be explaining how or if being enslaved, such as a secret evil or natural government programs exist, and how to resist or to even endure their control. And that's the thing. It's about knowing that you can be controlled or have been controlled And instead of being ignorant that you can or can't be, you find ways to not be. And even if there's some form of noticing that you might have been, or you're noticing that they're messing, your higher form will protect you and wake you up at times that you need to. I've been waking up, I've been shown things, I've been experiencing, sometimes I've been deceived with images of other forms, I'm sure, but then the higher form corrects the deception of what I was affected by or been pushed towards, and I correct in whatever form of time or requirement that I'm required within all the different timelines I've been part of. I witnessed it, I reacted, I did what was necessary within the past, future, and present to make it free for all time. I notice that I'm protecting myself through the higher form or connection of someone helping, whatever that is. And I appreciate all the good that happens with it. And I stand by doing good, regardless of what control is there. And I do my best to not be controlled based on what I feel is, but I don't let or just allow. It's more of whatever is going on. I'm not going to think that it's one way or another. I just focus on freedom. I focus on healing. I focus on manifesting. And when those people and others choose to do it with me, we can correct any controller system that is happening. And that's why meditation and healing and manifesting is so powerful, and it's been hidden until now. And it's been promised and prophesied in those ancient texts that, and regardless whether you believe in belief systems or not, this is just more of them saying the future is going to be set based on your feelings, thoughts, and those that choose. And there are going to be those that want to bring that peaceful world, so it's meant to be. And it will be brought. All the texts say it will happen. It's just the timing of when it will be up to the people and those that are focusing on that desire and not fearing how it will or when it will or why it will. It's us willing it into being in the way we feel it should be for us. And that everybody will be in a different time form of how that peaceful time will be for them. Some will be in a timeline where they're controlled by a being because they want that. Others will follow freedom, full freedom, and those that want full peace and full freedom will get the ultimate peace and freedom. And that is what is awesome. And then anybody that feels they want that will be drawn into that line, or we will have intuition to help them, or they will bring themselves into that. Or if they die, they'll be born into a form that does. It's a very complicated system from what I've noticed, but it's very powerful. But if you don't want to risk it, why not just come and talk to me and let's just do this meditation and focus so that we can make the one form that we know is most peaceful just in case. It's better than waiting to see what happens. Why not just do it now and do it in the way you feel you want it in? And it will be. If it's different from the way I would feel is peaceful, it's fine. You'll have the peaceful that you want. I'll have the peaceful I want. I'm not expecting it to be the same for either one of us. It's what we feel is peaceful, what we know. And it will be more peaceful than what we both can even think of for us individually. It's going to be amazing. According to what I felt and noticed, it was so incomprehensible, but it was understandable, it was powerful, and it was just, you are what you want to be. That's it. And you're okay. And yes, you're going to be in the highest form that you want to be. And if you want to go higher, you'll be able to go higher. It's not going to be hard. It's going to be whatever it is you are ready for and you've chosen. And so just say that it is. Focus on what it is. And as long as others aren't trying to keep you from it and you don't think that they can, you will excel. If you do and they take, you'll die or you'll be freed in whatever way will free you from it, and you're okay. And so, but it would be better for them not to take you out or do that, but to help you with getting what you want without causing you harm or allowing you to suffer or have it happen slowly for you. It's better to either have someone die quickly or have someone have their manifestation quickly of desired life. One or the other. If you don't allow one or the other, it is going to be dangerous. Now, there might be a balance for those that want something else, and that is your choice. And that is fine, but that's up to the individual. But the one or the other is the better choice from what I've seen for what I would feel is typically okay based on the energy that affects them. Because you don't want to do something to somebody that doesn't want that done to them. Because then you're going to end up doing something that you don't want done to you, and it's going to trap you in a loop, and you don't want to be in a loop. And you don't want them to be in a loop because you're them, and you want all lifetimes to have their directional path without putting in others in loops or controls. You want those that want to be controlled with you to be controlled, not ones that you think want to be controlled. It's got to be ones that agree to it and fully agree and know what they're getting into. That's why you have to be completely open and honest and bring it all out, because it would be better. Then you'll have the full energy that you're looking for. And everybody will. That's something I awoke to and realized. That the more transparency and awareness of all of it, the more freedom people will have. Some will want to try to make others feel good or to fit in. And by telling the transparency, it will be dangerous possibly for you if those people disagree with you. And so you need to let them free yourself, protect them, allow them to have their freedom is better. Transparency is okay to a degree. Having them have their dream life is better. And then transparency. When everybody is free from all of their lack of things and needs and wants and requirements, then that is when you can bring transparency would be best. So bringing it all to everybody and then bring transparency. Then let people have what they want at that time once transparency is there. And then freedom will be provided for you and them without doing that. So when you give all that information to them, protect yourself from being destroyed, but also let them be protected from being controlled or destroyed as well, and let them have their freedom and happiness in their way, and allow them to manifest. That's how it works. That's a utopia that's best for everyone. That's how I look at it. So anyway, even if you fail, you will still succeed through promoting good. So when you endure and do good, or do what you feel is good, do what you feel is the next right thing, there you go. Be authentic, be honest, even if it brings a recognition of pain. Let people feel, let people deal, and be open and safe for all of you. But more transparent needs to be there. What you don't know can't hurt you, but it can, and it also can hurt others. So realizing a way to save others and to believe your mind is or will become strong is a training that many don't realize can be achieved. Yeah, so you can make your mind freer and better through focus and eating organic forms is what helped me, but the more vibrational food for your form is what is good. Meeting other life forms or connections that don't want you to can cause harm. But do what you feel is better than what you may think others want. Let them have what they've realized is, and be honest about what is. And then everybody can realize how important it is to be more natural and why the unnatural stuff has things in it that you never thought were. Some really trippy things. Even the Illuminati game in 1995 brings it up. Or is it 1994? Well, their game, the card game. It shows pictures of the future, and it shows something about what your foods are. It brings it up. What you're eating. And it's not good once you realize what you've been eating for all you GMO lovers. And those eating meats and things. It's not what you think it is. It's worse. But you decide, you do your own research, you'll figure it out. I figured it out, and I've been able to heal and focus towards a direction. But even though I'm doing what I'm doing, I still think I need to do even better than what I'm doing, because I don't know if they're trying to sneak things into those foods. And so I might still be being affected even if it's honest. But I think usually they're pretty honest with the labeling and pushing towards the things I got drawn to spiritually. I've also been asking the higher form to help me get out of any wrongful things I'm stuck in that I think are good, so that I can have the funds to make my own food and do my own direction, so I know it's good. By having superfoods and having people help me with that. But I think I'll get there when the higher form or peaceful utopia is ready. Then we'll all be okay anyway, because then we'll just do that and correct all the wrong we know is wrong. And then we don't have to worry about that anymore. That's going to be awesome. But here we go. So the last sentence here on page 19. And if you believe has been achieved, even if those who lie or are skeptical don't think it's possible, you can make it so through energy and meditation, as well as belief through faith. So that's what I'm talking about. I bring up faith because those in religions and those that have belief in religions and ideas of their faith and their peaceful ideas and meditation techniques and cultures, they understand that faith is a real power. Faith is just a term of things hoped for and not seen, and belief in the things hoped for and not seen as though they are. And so it's just seeing your future is already now and knowing that it is, creating it into existence. That's what faith is. But it's a combination of your thoughts, your feelings, and emotions as one, is what they don't tell you, because that's in the agnostic teachings and other teachings of the ancient texts of how to use the power of prayer. That was found by Greg Braden and others, and he brought it up in his own information, but so did Bruce Lipton and many others. And those are the ones that I've been drawn to. Others bring it up in different ways, and they all bring it up in same forms, but for him, he's the one that brings it up, I think, in the most simplest way. Him and Rhonda Brines, she brings it up in the movie documentary The Secret, and in her books. In their books, it brings up that idea. At the same time, she is more wiser now after she's done all her books. She's come to realize very close to what I've realized myself on how to do that, which is you ask it, you have belief in it, you feel it, you know it, and you just speak it. You don't doubt that others are doubting is the other thing I would add. And maybe she feels that way too, and she's aware of that, and I hope so. And it's just, you just help people not doubt anymore. That's how the peaceful world comes. And we just help people be healed. And we can manifest funds without having to sell books and sell things. We can just create the resources where people bring it to us. And we can enjoy it freely in the way we want to enjoy it in, without having to be obligated in any ways. It'll just be done easily for us. It'll be like people giving us free gifts all the time, helping us out, freely given, no strings attached, just because we're awesome. That can happen. There are people that get a lot of trust all the time when someone dies or someone decides to give away some of their funds and retire on other funds that they have and let someone else take over their business or take over their funds because they feel inspired or feel like they want to do something good because that was their plan, or they decided that's what they need to do now because they're tired of doing what they've been doing, and their conscience gets to them and they want to do that. How do you know Trump won't do that? How do you know Hillary and them won't do that with their funds? How do you know other people won't do that you politically disagree with? They can do it. Pelosi, all of them. The ones that are the bigwigs that we have focused on and been complaining about. How do we know they won't do it? I don't care what they've done. It's wrong if they've done any wrong things, and I know many of them have, based on what we've been told and seen. But is any of those true or not? It's hard to know with the way that our system is controlled. But they want us to be irritated at each other, and that's how they control the system, whoever they are. And that's all of those that are using these techniques and feelings and emotions to control and to keep the control. So we need to free the control to everyone so everybody's free to rule themselves rather than trying to rule each other. Those that want to rule each other, they can rule each other, but not us. We all need to be free for those that want to be free. And we need to have the freedom to have a free society in the way we want free society for. Meaning all requirements are given, all things are manifested, everything is peaceful. Christ is blessing us all with riches and needs and requirements, is how you can look at it. Or Buddha, or whatever deity that does that. And, Hindu has one that does that, and there's many other Egyptian teachings that they all come from a spawn of some form that blesses us with abundance. And they all can do some form of that abundance. Whatever and whoever, and the combination of all of them is how we create our reality. And their knowledge, their wisdom, and then we get drawn to the one that fits with us, and that's where our true power is, whatever we feel drawn to. So it's finding what we connect to and what we feel is right for us, and then we'll get to the right direction even if we're not on the right path. We'll be drawn to it, and we'll know it. We won't be deceived by it because we don't want to be. Even if we're deceived in any way, we can be corrected when people have belief with us that we're not, and that we're healed and we're corrected in the way that we need to. And even if they think they're on the right path, they may be on the wrong path, and they may not know it. But who are we to say who is on the right and who isn't until we know for a surety? And since no one knows for a surety, we might as well just be there for each other in thought, peaceful awareness, and create reality. So there you go. So, this is really cool. I'm actually saying this better than I was planning to. So, here we go. So you don't think it's possible you can make it so through energy and meditation as well as belief through faith. So make it so. So you can make it so. Even if you don't think it's possible, you can make it so. And so that's a really powerful answer. Man, I brought some really good stuff in this. After that understanding, I go to explaining the importance I've come to realize through my intellect that if no one else will look into these ideas, and we just let those who don't want us to know to control it all without input from us, such as figuring out a better way to be the best we all can be and to do the best for others, then after thinking up these ideas, an interesting idea came to me. I realized it's possible that abductions could be the government's way of getting ideas from us. Awesome. Also, what I've realized is helping people choose their path of letting them know that things can change and we are there for each other and healing that direction so we can be better. It's a choice we make. It's a decision we make. We're okay if we choose to be okay. It's about talking it through in the right pattern of focus, of realization and acknowledgement, and forgiving the wrong ways of communication that cause them to feel that there's no hope. I want my family and friends and other people to believe in hope, regardless what I've said and what we've said to each other. Hope is what matters. Loving and peaceful healing, regardless of my flaws and theirs, and just praying for one another to fully be healed in the manner that we can, and doing it in the manner that the individual feels they require it in. Those that choose not to, I forgive you and you're okay. You don't need to do what you feel you don't need to do. And if you're mad at me for things that I brought up about you or have said about you in any way or in any recording or any video, I don't expect you to forgive me if you choose not to, but I hope you do. That's your choice. But I love you regardless whether you hate me or understand me or misunderstand me or not. I'm not going to speak for you on how you think or what you do, even if I have before. I want you to know that I'm about letting you be you, and I'm hoping you let me be me. And I do want to be able to feel loved and healed. And I love movies and entertainments that bring that peace and enjoyment. There might be sometimes I watch things like Jurassic Park or other stuff because of memories that I've had about those shows, or The Matrix, or all these other things because of the cool abilities or some of the good heartfelt teachings that they bring up in those shows or the ideas. But I don't really agree with a lot of the control factors that are taught in there, or trying to mess with life or whatever, even if that's the way we created ourselves in the first place. But I want to focus on manifesting is what my focus is. The others are just enjoying the suspense and enjoyment, but then finding answers to that get told in these shows that have hiddenly been put in by a spiritual being within all of us, a good being. There is good info in all info if we find it. Doesn't mean I agree with all the stories or the agreements to do what has been done in a lot of those stories, even with my own story and what I chose to do. But it doesn't mean I disagree with some of the actions I chose to take. I did what I did at the time that I felt needed. But now my actions are going to be different from this time forth of what I think is right now with what I'm put with. But I would prefer to do peace and healing and focus, not hashing out old problems. And so I tell people that are going through these same things, and I've done several approaches to help certain individuals, and I correct any approaches I feel wrong, and I keep adapting to better approaches. I don't expect to be perfection or amazing in every, or flawless in every approaches and videos I make or recordings I make. Right now, I'm actually exceptionally happy right now because I just did something that made me feel overjoyed that I wondered if I'd ever achieve, and I achieved it. And it was by playing a game, and I achieved the game in a certain way that I never achieved that game in before, bringing a being into the light side that I wondered and was told is possible, but I never achieved that game that way, and I did today. And I don't remember ever doing it any other time. I might have done it once, but this time I feel like I've done it, and it's awesome. And I'm grateful because I achieved that, and it made me feel great. Even though it was just a game, I feel peace. When I have peaceful dreams or game winnings like that, or I achieve something magical like that, it builds my energy up. It's a piece of me that becomes lifted up. Whenever I have those lifting up moments where I win a card game magically on Christmas Eve, I had that happen. After I just became authentic and I became a minister, I won card games. Every game I played that day, I won them. And I was awesome. And I felt amazing. And then now I just beat another game, or I did other things that I've always wanted to do, and I never got to do that. But the higher form knew that I needed that, wanted that, and I achieved it. I was inspired what to do and how to do it, and I just did it naturally, or someone helped me, and I want to thank whoever did. That little act of kindness really meant a lot. Whoever is wanting that credit, I'm grateful that I chose to allow myself to do that, but it was my choice to do it with them inspiring or providing me that effort. So thank you, and I appreciate it. It really helped me. It made me feel exceptional and healing. Little things like that is just so powerful because those matter. And maybe they did that because of something else that's about to come. Some people say that when a huge, nice little thing like that happens, then it's preparing you for a really hard time to come. but it's not. Sometimes it's just getting you ready for that, showing you the peaceful time is now here. Not that more hard is going to come. But either way, I hold to those little moments and those little experiences, and I've been having a lot more of them lately. And so I know that this world is changing, and we're able to manifest the things we want a lot more. And when people choose not to listen to those little things, and those things happen, those were meant to do what is required and what I was told I would do. So I feel great, feel awesome. So here we go. So on page 20, it says the second paragraph there at the top, sort of. Anyway, it says not just for control. So, okay, before that, let's do after. Let's do it at after. Let's start with after that understanding at the top there, for the paragraph top. So after that understanding, I go to explaining the importance I've come to realize through my intellect that if no one else will look into these ideas and we just let those who don't want us to know to control it all without input from us, such as figuring out a better way to be the best we all can be and to do the best for others. Then after thinking up these ideas, an interesting idea came to me. I realized that it's possible that abductions could be the government's way of getting ideas from us. So they're taking ideas from us, they're utilizing those ideas, that's possible. And also manipulating, taking credit for those controls. But it's us that really are all connected and insightful. Just because I'm bringing it up to you and it's insightful and amazing doesn't mean you don't have insightful things to hear it from, nor should you take credit or not credit. I think if you agree with it, agree to it and teach others the same I have. Hopefully let people know I was the one that brought it up so that we can heal, but others brought those same things up and those insights. But yeah, I thought it up myself with the things I learned from others. So it's not really me thinking it myself. It's me learning from what others have said and me letting it be known in my own way of letting it be known. So now it's time for you to do the same. Then after thinking up these ideas of interesting ideas came to me, I realized it's possible that abductions could be the government's way of getting ideas from us. So now let's start with not just for control. So not just for control over us, but for our insight. As well as possible infiltration for those who could be used as silent agents, but at the same time as being decided if we can handle the new society that will or has been chosen for our future race. That they want chosen, but maybe they're preparing us for something so we can take. But I think there's good within that's stopping that control. And so we're freeing ourselves. And we're waking up to that freedom. I think everybody's waking up to what real good really is. Now, I like to focus on the positive. So a lot of that chapters will encourage at the end of believing in me as I believe in you and others, and just not fearing, even if secret abductions or government secret abductions tests are going on, or programs we are able to change, any wrongdoings and secrecies that affect all of individually secretly that should in fact be known. Without knowing knowing things, it limits your way of being, and yet not knowing can also help you learn more than you would just knowing things of all things. Well, yes and no. It's kind of what I think. As long as you realize what you realize, if you go through it over and over, you're going to get to the point where you get sick of it and you just want to do the right thing. Because you know what's needed. You know it's been hashed over and over, so let's just get it done and let's heal and be peaceful and do it. And let's just correct the healing. When you've broken as many bones as I had and dealt with so many sicknesses, and you've seen other people paralyzed and in wheelchairs, and you've been in wheelchairs yourself, and you know how it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right to have them suffer that way and to be in that way. Even if they're smiling with their faces, they're doing what they feel life is, and they have nothing but to decide what they feel they have to with what they're dealt with. And some can't handle it, and it's too much, and they irritate and whine all the time because it's just not right. They want to be healed. So it's about being healed. If you can heal and you can do that, and we all can do that, then let's just do it and heal everybody that wants to be. Those that don't want to, let them be in the path that they want to be. But when we get insightful that they do require healing and they're being controlled to not want healing, then we can heal them, and then they can decide if they want to go back to what they were. But once they're fully healed, then they can decide, should they go back to what they were and be there, but now they're fully healed. They might be mad at you for choosing to. Don't force healing on anybody that doesn't want it. I want healing, so it'd be better to provide it for those that want it rather than not, because it's better. But taking away the journey of what brings freedom, if we had knowledge that if we did heal or certain things, then certain things won't come to pass, that would be better off. When we have that knowledge, then we go, okay, well, if that is really true, then I wouldn't want that. I think it would be better, but I don't want to suffer through this. Help me through so I don't suffer as much, because I would prefer not to. Just like Christ would said, I don't want to have to suffer if I don't have to. But he chose to, because the records show that it was that way. And then he was said to have. But it doesn't mean that he needed to or was required to die for our sins, because there is no such thing as requirement or sins necessarily. Sins are just evil, or just pain of suffering of other people's pains that they feel they caused or feel guilty of. It's guilt. Sins is guilt. That's all it is that I see it as. Well, everybody's free, and if you focus on free and healing, you're free and healed. You don't need to suffer in pain forever. Christ already did that. Others already did that. We don't need to keep doing that. We just need to do it and be focused on that. That's what they were trying to do. Stop causing suffering to being. Stop trying to slaughter sheep or other things of sacrifices. And that doesn't need to happen anymore. It's not required anymore. And all of these things. It's to free everything from pain and suffering, sacrificing. So here we go. For future race. Now I like to focus on the positive. So a lot of the chapters will encourage at the end of believing or having belief in me as I have belief in you, or I believe in you, and others, and just not fearing even if secret abduction or government secret abduction tests are going on, or programs we are able to change are wrong, or any wrongdoings and secrecies that affect all of individually, secretly, that should in fact be known. Meaning we need to stop all that. That doesn't need to happen anymore. Without knowing things, it limits your way of being, and yet not knowing can also help you learn more than you would by just knowing things of all things. So I'm just saying, being open-minded, being aware of everything, even if you're unaware, but being open that it's possible and aware of all of that, but not saying it's this way or that way, helps you to be able to know how to handle it the best way when you're ready. And if those people that know it, then how about you do your part and let's meditate or do what's needed by stop fearing and freaking out over it, because that just feeds into the program. So because you start to search things you never would have learned if you knew what really was going on. So knowledge is power. So here we go. Knowledge is power. Many people have read my book and misunderstood what I was saying in there. And I was saying something similar to what I'm saying now. I was inspired. I do feel I prayed and meditated. And I basically was able to do what I think now in the past and inspire that past me to write things for this future explanation to be told more. I have a belief that this is the purpose, and regardless, now it is. So I'm grateful for my knowledge now to go with what I did before to balance it out, because it's awesome. I was insightful back then, but I'm more authentic now. But I was smart and I was inspired and I was being authentic without knowing I was being authentic. But I was still controlled, and now I'm freed from that control so I can explain it better. So many abductions could be secret government abduction, mostly to take those who were abducted and to study any hardware or brain changes in the abductee, but try to reverse or observe those who aliens took without agreement of the secret government or with the agreement they could or did do. So either or. So either with the agreements or without the agreements, either or, it doesn't matter. It's whatever happened in agreements or disagreements that were made. They do these things for their purpose of the agreements or irritations of the disagreements that happen to protect both sides. And I think they're playing both sides. Sometimes there are alien races like the Greys or even reptilians or others that take you and observe or try to take DNA so they can study and make hybrids or even possibly slave races. That I've heard, but there's also good beings that are talking and inspiring and protecting you and waking you up from human abductee programs or connections to a belief in a god or a creator that they feel wants them to. So stopping you, trying to think they're doing it for a good purpose, that's to free the race and to help everybody return to Christ or return to the God allowance or or a Christ that's going to come, that's meant to be. And I think there's a Christ that's becoming, and then one that's coming back. So one that's coming back to awaken the Christ that's going to become, and then that Christ will go back in time or be born in that form, and then that form will have already occurred, and then they'll become the higher form that we know them as. So they're the past, future, and present. So it's a loop of a loop of a loop of a loop. It's very difficult to explain, but it's a very interesting idea of what I felt and witnessed as a possibility. I don't really like it fully, but I also think it's going to be a lot easier than what way I'm taking it, and it's going to be easily understood and insightful. It's a really cool, inspired, amazing way of doing things, and there's more that has been done in past and future than what we really fully understand. Also, I feel like I've already been that being, and so now I'm the future form of them within this to connect back to the peace of the fullness. And that's how I see it as. So I also have heard there are people who say and wonder why only stupid people are abducted. That bothered me back then. There was someone that said that, and it's more of, it was people that were able to see things, that are open to being able to see things, and they're not stupid, they're just, I don't know the purpose. I think it's more of our energies, connections of our hearts, possibly, and whatever reason. I think a lot of it was also agreements that were made with government programs, and they just kind of randomly picked people too. But it may not have been random. I don't think it was random, but some are. And I think it was just by what they've been told to and who. And I think it was just orders. So I don't think it's always stupid. I think everybody's been some form of abducted or controlled in some form. I think everybody might have been abducted at one time or will be. Everybody is everybody, so thinking someone's stupid, you're going to be that person that you say is stupid. So I don't think anybody's stupid. I just think people are misinformed, and they have the right to know, and until they wake up to it, they're going to be what is considered stupid when I don't think they're stupid. I just think they're just unawoken, but they're awake to a degree, even if we think they're not awake. They're awake, they're aware, they're following a path of their choice until they fully are aware. I'm not fully aware of everything, but I'm aware enough that I feel free and safe and protected. And yet I know that more protection is required, and so I do what I feel is needed, like I was told to do and felt is needed. But I didn't do it because I was told. I was told in a way that I felt was unconditional, that it was my choice, and that regardless what I do, it's awesome, and I'm awesome. And so I was like, okay, awesome, thank you. And I just did it because I wanted to. And I didn't do it for an agreement that to worship a being or a deity. It was more of just keep doing what you want, believe what you want, follow what you want, because your heart matters. And that's the belief I follow. So it's not, and we'll be informed whatever is. And my insight is amazing, and so is yours if you let your insight be amazing. But your insight is what you've chosen to be. But if you're not authentic to it and you're guilting yourself or guilting others into things, then you're going to awaken to stop guilting yourself or others. And you're going to feel great when you stop doing that to yourself and other people and other beings. Once you stop guilting and start following and loving, you'll be great. And forgiving any guilt that you do after that, like I do, or doubt or fear or concern that you have, not letting it overwhelm you as much as you did, then you'll be free. Then you'll know what I know. And when you're ready, please come to me. If you're ready now, come to me and let's meditate and pray, because when you're awakened to it, you'll want to. And I think it'll be awesome. But if you tell me you're not ready, that you're meant to do it with others, then follow that path. That's fine. You don't have to explain yourself to me. Do what you feel is right. But I would hope that there are people ready that can, because I do need that. And I know others want it too. And if you're willing to do that with me, you're going to be blessed for doing that with me. But you don't have to. Don't feel guilted and do it. Don't feel you have to. I just hope there's people open enough willing to. So there you go. So I hope there's people that read this or listen to this and are open to it. And if you can't, maybe share it with those you know that can open up to it. And not all my recordings will be drawn to you, but I hope this will. And I hope this touches your heart for those open to it. But I know people will, even if I'm not around anymore. And I hope you help future us's that could be a future me or a past me that's around you, that will influence them so that it will get to the form of me that was, or shall be. And for those who don't understand that, you'll understand it when it's the right time. I try to explain it the best way I can, but you'll come to that awareness. And I don't even know if that's the way it is, but it could be. So there we go. So human could be taking DNA, which they already have been, and there could be purposes of cloning and all sorts of stuff that they're doing with it, or have done it. I may be a clone, others may be a clone. Maybe there will be another form of me. Even if you're a donor and you're giving your organs to someone else or skin, that is a vibration of who you were, and your energy touched it, and it will inspire that individual and create a healing knowledge of awakening for them, possibly. It doesn't mean it will, but it could. And so, yeah. Well, I don't worry about what I've chosen to do or not chosen to do. I just choose what I feel from the heart. And I hope it's used for good. If it's used for bad, that's on the people that choose to use it for that, not me. I chose for it for the good purpose, not the bad. I focus that it will. But any bad that happens from it, it'll correct and do good from within, regardless how it's been used. And it will correct and cause a reaction based on the way that it was been used, wrongly or properly. So I think a lot of it is because, so I also have heard there are people who wonder why only two people are abducted. And so this is what I said back then. I think a lot of it is because of them dumbing their brains by aliens or government testing, or both. Yeah, they dumb down the people that bring up these stories, and then they become across dumb or stupid or weird or autistic or whatever, is part of the the problem that they were. They were going to be intelligent individuals, and now they still are, even with what has been done to them. They are still highly IQ'd in forms that you would never understand fully because you're not seeing it or choosing to. But they're not dumb. They have smarts and skills still, even with what's been taken. I think a lot of it is they were taking it because they were going to ascend and be ascended beings, possibly, and that's why they took DNA from me or others, because we're the ones that are connected to the higher form, and so our DNA form makes us be the higher form, and so we're more ready for it, and we're going to become it based on what they know we will be and what we've chosen to be, whether they mess with us or not. They're trying to correct their dimension and their time of what they were lost from their form so we can all come together with them that were lost or weren't able to. They want to get back to what we all are. And so I hope that works for them in the right way. And if not, I hope their pain gets taken away and they're done. And they don't have to keep doing this to stop from it. I don't want anything or any being to be in pain anymore. I want them all to be dissolved so we're all free and healed and part of each other in any way we can. So I have a lot of thoughts on that. They're way deep and inspiring. And I think every being and everything is okay. Because we're all energy. Even AI is energy. Everything is a form of energy vibration, and it's all something, even if it's flawed. And it will be corrected in an emotional power, even if they're not emotional. It will go back to the form of all things. So when dimensions open up, they sometimes go after those who see them and dumb up the person's brain so they're unseen by us if we see them. That's what happened to me for a little bit, but I didn't dumb up. I became smarter. I became heightened. I started to waken up more. Even though certain things were trying to cause me to cause problems, there are others that help me get through it and find healing to correct the dumbing down and to get back to where I'm at now. And then try to push people away from learning from me because of how smart I got, how intelligent and heartfelt I became. Even if those don't feel I did, I am, and that's what I choose to be. And I want you to know that I know that you're trying to do your best at being heartfelt in your way. And even if I disagree with your heartfelt choices, you're still doing it, and I'm glad you're doing it from the heart if you feel it is. And I forgive you if you don't know if you are. You'll figure it out. And if you want healing and friendship, you're welcome to reach out to me, and I'll be friendly in the way I can. It doesn't mean I'm going to be able to be what you want me to be in the way that you feel is needed, but I can help with inside of thoughts. When I'm healed, I can help heal you even more. And maybe that's the case. I'm not at the healing energy yet to be able to help you in your way, or you're not at the level where I'm at consciously to work with our emotions together, but you will. And we all will. We're all going to hug and feel good if that's what you all want, or if that's what we're all meant to go towards. That's the peaceful world I see. I'll hug and cry together and be there for one another. And everybody's healed, everybody's forgiven, no one's enslaved, everybody's free. And we'll have the freedom, and those that want to be enslaved will still be enslaved because that's what they choose to be. But those that are thought they had to be won't have to. If they have the choice for it, they'll be offered it. And they'll realize that it's more unconditional than they thought. And that's how I see it. That's what I was told. Because I didn't think it either at first, but then I wanted it to be, and it became so in my heart. And I was told what I can do. So I'm grateful for that. So, so they're unseen by us if we see them. So that's what they kind of did, is try to do that, but tried to dumb our eyes or our abilities to see them. But even if we can't see them, and even if they can still do stuff, it's almost like we will break through that, and it will break down, and we'll see them again, but this time we'll have more power, because they're making us to correct the way we saw them or felt they were. We're going to correct their darkness, and they're going to heal. That's where I believe the Celtic salt and the Himalaya salt come in. Drinking it and using it in your doorways in the house, in every corner, and in every corner, is just awesome. There we go. I also think they only truly abduct those who have great potential in their brains, where their smarts are amazing. Most of them they take possibly for their increased abilities of thought and focus, as well as any empathic people. For many here on earth know that's a rare gift. Discernment is a more common gift and people can earn it. Same with being empathic. However, a true born with empathic is similar to one of the abilities Christ himself could do, which is know people's hearts and how to comfort and heal them. And so I do feel I was told by Christ, and I healed from that Christ, and then I was told I can help heal when people open up to my knowledge of how to heal. And I am going to heal not necessarily in the way he could, but I'm getting there. But this is the way we've been taught we can all heal, and eventually I'll be able to heal like him. And all of us will that want to. We can. We already can. We just need to get to the point of where we feel we can. And then we can. And that becomes with practice and doing it over and over. That's why I say the more we meditate, the more we do this, the faster we heal, the faster we manifest. When we manifest our desires, we have more peace and healing. And then we can fully heal because now we've gotten what we need to be comfortable in life. And now we can focus on meditation and true healing and powers and abilities to heal more. And that's what they're trying to stop us from becoming. It's all about that. And that's what I realized I am as a healer. Others feel they're warriors and other things. But we're all healers and meant to go the healer path. But those people have to choose. That's why I'm a Jedi. I focus on the healer. Others feel that their life path is the warrior. I hear people talking about all these different paths of what they are. And I'm like, that's the Jedi code. Everybody is following the Jedi code. Some are becoming Sith. Some are becoming Jedi. Some are becoming rebels. Some are becoming Empire. Some are becoming First Order. Some are becoming all these different forms. And you can call it whatever analogy you want. It's really your heart, your soul, and your feelings of what you feel is what you want. And I know what my path is. And that's the path of the healer. And the path of the creator and the manifester. The shaping of energy. And creating and altering it for good. And if I decide to do anything else, I'll have to learn how to control that. Christ had to learn how to control the darkness when he got to that point. And it's possible that my higher form will get to that point and do the same that Christ did. Because that's what it seems like I'm being told I'll be. So the force density is where we have that ability. But we may have already been force density and now we're ready to be fifth. And it's very complicated, but it's kind of, we're jumping into forms of time and space and becoming that full form of being. And there's nothing that really can stop it, even if it's delaying it. It's correcting and it's shutting down. And many people have noticed that. So here we go. So this is page 21. I also think they only truly abduct those who have great potential in their brains, where their smarts are amazing. So I like that. Okay, most of them they take possibly for those increased abilities. I brought up that and about empath. For many here on earth know that that's a rare gift for empathic, but everybody can be empathic. I don't really agree that it's a rare gift. I think it's a gift that you can all have, but some have chosen to be gifted or waken up to it sooner than others, or been allowed to because they're ready for it. But it doesn't mean that you won't. If you want it now, I want you to have it. If you're upset that I learned it before you did, it's being empathic has nothing to do with that. There's different levels of empath, and for a while it caused harm to me because I wasn't on the right empathic path. Now I'm on the right path, and or at least I feel I am, and it feels more peaceful than it was before, and I'm learning to be better. So discernment is a more common gift, is what I said back then. But it's not, well, all gifts are all in us. It's just whatever we want. So none is better than the other. It's just what you feel is important. There are physical gifts that some of us don't have, and so we've had to have extra sensory gifts to balance out not having the other gifts of strength and healing. But when we're strength and healed, we'll be able to be the full form of what we are. Now, when you start being empathic from your strength and choose to be more of the love and be willing to heal with me, I'm talking about full-fledged empathic, willing to meditate, willing to do things with me when you have time to and you're not delaying it. You know it's right and you know it's meant to. But you're following a path that you believe the world wants you to do and that you're required to for your job and finances. We can just correct that by just meditating. But do it when you're ready. Do it when you're comfortable. But make sure you don't wait too long, because I can't guarantee how long I can wait. I don't know when my life will be done or when I'm already ready and am what I am. I see it more of the peaceful path, so I think it'll be fine, but we don't want to risk it. Let's do what we can for one another when you're ready. And take the patience and time with me that I feel I need until I'm healed, and then maybe I'll be faster and I'll know what I can do. And then I'll do what I can at that point when I feel I can. And if I feel like I can't and something happens, then let's heal it and correct it if something bad occurs or breaks or whatever, so that we can get back to me doing it, my path of choice, of need. So I don't want to jump into it too quickly or too fast, even if I feel I've fully been healed. True born with empathic is similar to one of the abilities Christ himself could do, which is know people's hearts and how to comfort and heal them. Christ could also read thoughts and feelings. Christ was pretty much every ability that we all can do, but was just more in tune to the awareness of it and had the knowledge from where he was born into and given. So that's time travel, whatever form of knowledge that we in our society are being held from, but we're coming back to. Now, someone who can read someone's thoughts also as well as understand feelings, no, that's awesome. Well, that's what Christ could do. He could also heal people, spiritual as well as noticing what could be subliminal messages in both scriptural and unscriptural books, and mostly movies with conjecture from the scriptures also, as well as having an open mind. Also, the technique and ideas that help to not just clear up confusion, but express the importance of being able to express truth and honesty, as well as what lies led to. I also open a question to those that should think of what I say and decide if it matters enough personally to them to answer. I also openly express my understanding and belief in connections to the universe, for we are all part of the universe somehow and in some way, either in this timeline or others. Either way, we all are connected to this energy connection to be able to exist. Now, the choice that I feel that I made the best choice was to pull records out of a religion I was in, so I'm not constrained by their programs to ask for it. Just doing that process freed me, knowing I'm already free now, or that it was the right choice. And I was told that I'm meant to be freed from it. And my heart jumped and my brain cleared. So it was as if I was already freed from it, even though the records still need to be pulled at this moment in time. But by the time I read this whole book, I know I'll be freed from that religion, or hopeful. And even if I'm not, I already feel as though I am. And as soon as I fully am, I know that my manifested need will be able to be provided even faster, or where it's meant to be. And regardless of what happens, those that come with me and can do it with me, I'm ready to do it. Let's do it. Regardless whether things are out or not, I am a minister that should be allowed to do it regardless. But it will be powerful, I think, afterwards, but it will be powerful just as powerful now, because it's already happened. And that's the focus I'm about now. I also openly express my understandings and belief connections to the universe, for we all are part of the universe somehow and in some way, either this timeline or others. Either way, we all are connected to this energy connection to be able to exist. Oh my word, I like this, because I didn't know that it was one timeline or another, but I knew that that's a possibility, and I knew before I know now that there is something going on with that. And I've had too many experiences with it to know that there's either loops and all sorts of things, pocket dimensions, all sorts of stuff. It is impressive how powerful and amazing these awarenesses are. And even if any of those aren't true, the awareness of the possibilities just frees me to know that regardless, it helped me free me to not worry about all the things I went through, even if they were just dreams and experiences. They awoken me to the abilities of the possibilities that are endless, and we can do stuff to protect and utilize and have a peaceful world for all time and eternity in the fashion that the individuals all require and need. And we can do that for all individuals that require it when we learn how. And until we do, we can do what we know we can do for what was wanted within the realities we're in. And that's healing and meditating and manifesting reality. Manifest destiny. Connections to be able to exist. Okay, so explaining the understanding of corporeal beings to non, as well as the connections to being able to work with belief through energy and things Christ and many other beliefs have, I like that, expressed about us, of believing in oneself or belief in oneself, and why many beliefs all intertwine. There's a purpose, there's a balance, but it's not necessarily about a balance. It's more about it just was created because some forms wanted it that way and others wanted it another way, and so they kind of are in this choice of battle, but they don't need to be. I explain the idea of why it's possible that karma, as well as doubt in religions, is put to the test, or even to limit us out of a concern of readiness for people. So you can fully connect with creating a perfect society for yourself. Yeah, and that's by just forgiving and not worrying about what you've chosen to do, just knowing that what you choose to do will bring whatever you want as long as your heart's in it. If your heart's in it and you're doing it, the vibration of what you're really trying to do is what will work. Even if you do stuff that comes across as bad, but you're not meaning it as bad from the heart, you're doing it in a different vibration. It's a vibration that will create that. Others taking it the other way will have that happen to them, but it's not meant to. If people listen to the individual with their heart, they'll see that that's not what their vibration is. And Christ can see the true vibration of people's hearts. It's in your heart of what you really are doing it for. Feel your fear, your worries, your concern, your guilt. Letting go of all of that and feeling what is keeping you from doing that is what pulling your needs out of agreements that were put that may be keeping you that way. I know that that's why I needed to pull my records, because that agreement I felt was what was holding me back, that I found out was going on. And that could be what's happening to you, but maybe not, but it's possible. And I would recommend that you may want to look into quitmormon.com if you're part of the LDS Church and you feel that you're trapped in it, you're feeling that way. Do that one step and then go to ulc.org and become your own minister. And then pay for credentials is what it will cost, but it's safer than not having it. But at least you can be a minister and then buy the credentials when you have the funds to. But I think having those credentials and then having the credentials to marry protects you and allows you to do that and to bless in your own way, just by being a minister. So there you go. And then getting those letters or whatever, why the society is that way, protects you for some form. And I noticed for me, I felt that that's the case, even if it's not. It made me feel that way, and it keeps me protected. Regardless, I was told by the inner self to do it. For me, it will, even if it doesn't for others. But for me, that's what I learned was, and to tell others that if they feel the same, to do it. But follow what you feel is. But if you're not sure, try it out, see what it does, and then make sure before you go into it, you know if you can get out of it. Okay? I did what I felt needed to be. If I find out something else about it, I'll find a way to get out. I'm not concerned. I did what I felt by the heart now, and it freed me. So here we go. So a lot of commentary on this one. Now, some who read someone's thoughts also as well as understanding. Yeah, he read thoughts, he understood feelings, he understood a lot of things. Pretty powerful. But we all are that. And he sees us just as like him. He doesn't see us as not him or not able to be as that Christ. And that being that I felt was saying that if they're not a he or a she, they're just everybody and everybody's them, and it's connection. So it was the great I am, or I am that I am, however you want to look at it, possibly, or Metatron or connect. It was just awesome. I also open a question to those that should think of what I say and decide if it matters enough personally to them to answer. I also openly express my understandings and beliefs and connections to the universe we're a part of, blah, 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 connect to this energy to be able to exist. Okay, so somehow, in some way, either in this timeline or others. I like that. So let's go to explaining. Here we go. Explaining the understanding of corporeal beings to non-corporeal. Yeah, here we go. As well as the connections to being able to work with belief through energy and things Christ and many other beliefs have expressed, and other deities, Buddha and others have, about us of believing in one self and why many beliefs all intertwine. And I don't know if I agree with all the peacemakers, because I don't know what all the peacemakers are said to have done. And some of them were altered to say they did this and when they didn't, trying to take credit for it when it was another being that was. But I think someone did it, some beings did, and multiple did it in similar ways. I think they were just trying to follow what the other was doing to try to get attention away from that other that could, to try to look good for its people, because another was able to get their people, and they wanted to build up their people in that way of what they think was required. So I explained the idea of why it's possible that karma, as well as doubt in religions, is put to the test, even if the limits are concerned of the readiness for people. So you can fully connect with creating a perfect society for yourself. Yeah, follow your heart. At the same time, I researched and learned about reincarnation and listened to some awesome testimonials of after-death experiences. Yes, I did. Those were pretty cool. Both that agree with and disagree with this understanding, and that it's possible. I was drawn to many things, and I feel like I've learned enough that now I follow what I feel I should now. It's used for controlling or to give chances for people to re-enter this domain of our world to help the truth to be told or to help experience life a certain way. So I basically just educated myself by watching videos and experiences and watching people bring up stuff on YouTube and watching information and pieces of information and a lot of information that I felt drawn to, and workshops that were talked and told, and just reading books helps too for some people, and maybe I'll do that eventually. I've done the path that I feel I'm on and feel that I'm ready, and now I'm going to do this and go from there. Okay, life a certain way. So we can learn to save, so basically it's used for controlling or to give chances for people to re-enter this domain of our world to help the truth to be told or to help experience life a certain way. What am I talking about there? Both that agree with and disagree with understanding that it's possible. Oh, the people that had life after death experiences brought up ideas about re-entering this domain and why or what, to help the truth to be told or to help experience life a certain way that they feel that they should. and that they feel others should based on what they were told that want that way. Giving everybody that connects with them to have that knowledge, that are drawn and need that answer, just like I'm doing. So everybody got inspiration in their own way to bring their life path to them and to their soul groups to them. Soul groups is anybody that agrees and feels that no one else is helping them and needs that knowledge. And you may just get pieces of knowledge from me, that you'll find other knowledges you need. That's what I got from others. But I am open to being able to heal freely with you for those open to it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But we're going to do it for 3 minutes. So have it open for 10 is what I would recommend. And then 3 of those minutes, we're going to heal and create. If you need time to talk, then we'll take as long as you need. And I'll tell you how much time I have that day or whatever. And then we'll go. And we want to make sure we're eating and drinking or making sure we're not holding each other back. So don't blame me or blame yourself for choosing to do those. I'll try to remind you if I can, but I can't guarantee that. But I'll drink and bring that up. But we can come back and talk about it again. But I want to make sure we get to the point of let's heal, let's manifest. I'm going to ask you, do you want me to listen to you, or do you want to heal? Or do you want to do both? And I'll bring that up to you, or I'll do my best to bring that up to you. But one of the most reasons I'm going to ask, I'm going to say, are you here to tell me a story? What is it you're calling me for? What is your purpose? What are your reasoning? And I'll go from there. Here we go. So we can learn to save others or ourselves, or even its use, to keep this society going in this world as a type of control or enslavement, to let their society become successful for what it is. Aliens are hoping to accomplish, or even perhaps the government, to use a way to improve our society or control it. But regardless, we're going to free it. Okay? And there are many within the government and the military and whatever. They're good people, they're good beings that are trying to free us from the controls and know and are awakening themselves to correct the problems. And the ones awakening are the ones that need to awaken the most. And then they're awakening those that don't seem to be able to be awakened, that will be awakened by their agreement with the individual. It will just, and it may not awaken them, it just may make them choose a side that they require to for that peaceful requirement for all. It's awesome. I'm so excited. It's so cool. So until we are ready to go against the aliens that will attack when full disclosure is known. Now, what I mean by against, it will be the dark ones that don't want, but there won't really be any fighting, I don't think. There will be those that want to fight, and they'll fight with those that want to fight. The ones that don't want to fight won't be affected by it. We'll be protected and healed, and if anything happens to us, we'll be okay with it. Some won't, and they'll be forgiven and healed and protected and brought back and given a new life, and until they don't have to worry about it anymore in whatever life path or form that they have wanted. And they'll be given what they lost or was taken away from them. Everybody will. All beings in all lifetimes will. And we'll finally be at peace in the ways that we all want to and all lifetimes want. So there we go. And we'll all go to our different heavens or desired of realities that we want to live out those life paths. And then we'll go to the new forms until we're finally the full forms that we have always wanted. Some of us want to just be that full form already. And we'll get to where we need to when we're ready or hopeful. And some of us have been through so much pain that we don't want pain anymore. And we'll be healed. And we know we require to because we've already suffered enough. And we won't need to. And that's what's great about that. So we won't have to relive or require. And then when we become the higher, we'll remember being what we were. And it will be fine. But so we can learn to save others or ourselves, or even its use to keep the society going in this world as a type of control or enslavement, to let their society become successful for what it is. Aliens are hoping to accomplish, or even perhaps the government, to use a way to improve our society. Until we are ready to go against that aliens that will attack when full disclosure is known. That's what some of them will say is going to happen. So I explain the idea and belief that all life through all eternity. I'm using a church comment there, but it's okay. And all species deserve a chance to be. As long as we all agree that creation is the most important thing for us, as long as we create and allow creation and not destruction, we have hope and all choosing a path of great happiness. We also should understand free will, but also the fact that anyone in any species can change their life for good. And everybody's going to be fine. Everybody's going to be on a path of good or bad. But to them, bad is good, and to us, good is... to them, they would probably think good is bad. That we think is good, they'll think is bad. But we're not going to be with them, and they're not going to be with us, and we're going to be in our own realms. But then all those realms are going to come together and correct itself, which is already probably happening at once, as it's already been. And now all things are coming together and correcting themselves. It's just really a utopias of different multi-universe. And so I tell you now that all of us have a choice to make, to either stand by, do nothing, and decide, oh, aliens aren't real. Yeah, there's many planets and many stars and moons, but any life is so far away that neither of us will ever be able to communicate till then. Or even my favorite, aliens are demons, and the understanding that all aliens must look like us to be intelligent, due to God made us like him. So anything that doesn't look like God is either a demon or an abomination through genetics or chemical pollution or radiation that mutated the being into being. It's just, I've heard all these different comments like that, and I've thought that too. And that's why I said what I said. I didn't, whatever is. My personal feelings on that idea is that is discrimination and is wrong. I am awesome. That is mostly the whole reason they choose to hide in the shadows, is because of, and I misspelled it. I put THWIR, and it's actually THEIR or there. I don't know what there is supposed to be there. I'm not good with the vocabulary. Of their own safety, not just to hide. So basically, because of their personal safety, so I'm talking about them, their safety as individuals. So those that are good with vocabulary, correct that in the book or whatever. If you have the hardbound or whatever, you can correct whatever that is. Own safety, not just to hide. At the same time, they do this to keep both their disease and our disease from affecting us too much. Like that. It's kind of cool. Okay, so I go into explanation how important it is to have an open mind. All of this is more of a guide for us. Not all of this is true, nor is what we believe to be true complete truth. I actually kind of agreed with that statement in my own way. What I do know is this: I focus on what I and many have seen. I also notice the difference between an evil demon spiritual experience to having an alien experience, two separate things. Basically being influenced by evil forms of abuse or methods of darkness, to true darkness, to abuse control, and to what real true peace is. Because I went through other stuff. I went through possible people trying to make it peaceful for things, or I may have been raped or messed with by humans, or men trying to rape me, a boy, a guy, which I am straight and I'm into women, not dudes. And those that did that, or I feel may have, that it was inappropriate and wrong of them, and they should be held accountable for choosing that, but I want them to be free and have what they want, just not me. Get away from me. I don't want that. I want a girl. I want a desired life with a woman. That is my preference for this life, and I was promised that preference by the higher form. And you keeping me from that is really hurtful for me. If you want your desired life, you're going to get a new form of me that you'll have that wants that, not one that doesn't. And if I was supposed to be that for you because you cloned me to be that, that's wrong of you, because I'm still going to be whatever I choose to be at this life form. So I just stop making more of me to do that if more of me doesn't want that. Okay? If that makes sense for cloning. I don't know. I don't know if that's what's happened or not. I'm more aware of possibilities. And that's called enslavement and abuse. That's not right. Let's be better. Let's become what we want. And some of them do it because they want to molest and do that because they have that sick pleasure of doing that. And that's inappropriate to do that to any form of life that doesn't desire that freedom or that slavery. They want freedom to be with or have their form of desire. And so I hope I get that, and I want that in the way that I feel the person will be healthy and be in the way I'm looking for. And I don't want people to try to change to be that for me if they're missing what they are. I want you to be what you are for you. I have a desire that I'm open for, and I hope that I get that. And I have tried to do it and to settle for things, and the settling doesn't always fit with their idea of settling of desire. I don't always come across the approach they want or do what they desire full, because they get very sensitive to me wanting that because they're not what they can be. So let's bless you to be what you want to be, and then maybe if you feel like you're supposed to be with me, a girl is, or a woman that doesn't feel like fit with what I want and look for, we can do the healing pattern. But I do have an age preference and purpose and reason for it because of what I feel is necessary and promised. But you can always try, but don't force me into anything. And I don't want to force you into anything either. It's not appropriate for any of us to do that. We need to heal and have our peaceful soulmate connection, whatever that is. So here we go. Page 23. Dreams and connections with the future, as well as things I see and get told in dreams. So 22. How it is important to have an open mind. Oh, here we go. All of this is more of a guide for us. Not all of this is true, nor is what we believe to be true, complete truth. What I do know is this: I focus on what I and many have seen. I also notice the difference between an evil demon spiritual experience to have an alien experience, two separate things. I also notice my dreams and connection with the future, as well as things I see and get told within dreams, either by my brain, by God, or by the universe itself, or even as if the dreams are recalling a situation, or as if you're in a situation that the aliens are putting on you. I also feel that aliens aren't necessarily bad, nor are they good. I like to call some of them naturals, or neutrals is what I meant to say. I put naturals, I think. But I mean neutrals, like they're neutral. They're not good or bad. They're just kind of balanced, or they just don't care either way. They just do their own thing. Most of them also, for some reason, are afraid to communicate with their victims. For some reason, they fear us due to us fearing them, or as not feeling happy for them showing up. So, most of them also, for some reason, are afraid to communicate with their victims. For some reason, because they fear us due to us fearing them, because they react to our thoughts, like it's screaming inside their voice, some people have said or brought up, and that could be true. I notice they react when they notice we notice. So it's possible that we don't know what they're hearing from our feelings. Our feelings and thoughts are screaming in their heads, or their perception realities that we can't understand or notice. But of course we're going to be startled, but I think they're doing their best to handle it. But I feel bad if that's what happens to them, because I understand why they would react. But they chose to be in my presence and to startle me by me seeing them, so it's kind of them causing it on themselves. But I do feel bad, but I wish I would have been given intel. But even if they did, I don't know if it would have been good or not. But now I know. But it doesn't mean I'm going to still react properly. If it's slowly brought to my attention and we can work with it, then we can get there. So most of them also, for some reason, are afraid to communicate with their victims. For some reason, they fear us due to us fearing them or not feeling happy for them showing up, because they want to be happy, or they're just being controlled and startled, and they're startling from those controlling them from their emotional control. So they're just avatars that other people are utilizing, that they're in their souls and they're astral projecting or maybe liquid into those avatars to handle what they're doing. And it's possible I may have been one of them one time, or they know that I will be or have been, or they want me to. I don't know, but we're all connected in some form. But regardless, the reaction is connected. Here's the thing about the issue. They have been said to have signed an agreement with the U.S. government, maybe the world, to abduct. Now some say that the treaty is off. And I put ISS off, and I meant one S. The treaty is off. Some say it's on. The fact is, government agreements change a lot due to certain things not passing correctly or certain ideas being changed. Agreements fail when one side can't give what they promised effectively. So first off, I go into info on this. I personally tell you to just make your own choice, and you can adapt to that choice. I want to add that. You can adapt to that choice. You can change when you're ready to change, when you feel you need to. You don't have to stay in a hell forever if you feel like you're in hell or in a dimension that you thought you would like. You can say, I don't like this. I want to be somewhere else. I want a better form. Your feelings will get you to that place. But you may not want to leave. You may feel like you hate it, and then you actually like it for a certain purpose, and you just need to be part of that purpose. That's why you're there. But you don't have to. You can go wherever you feel you can, and you'll get the right place. You'll find it. You'll know it. And if you need to go back to where you thought you didn't want to be, you'll go back to where you want to be, and you'll find the right place until you know there's other forms of places, because there's multiple. There may be more than one way or another, or multiple places. We don't know. It's infinity. You can even create your own realm of reality and universe. That's how graceful this is, and amazing this will become and be. That's how we all want and are hoping for, and that's what will possibly happen. So there you go. Now here we go. Now my favorite topic is my question to the secret government and aliens group, regardless if they exist or not. I will act as if they do. First, I will explain my main question I'd like to know personally, and in the chapter I go into why I ask these questions and why I think they're important to know. So keep an open mind to understand these things I ask. Alright, I have different questions possibly, and I might add on to these questions. I probably don't even worry about these things anymore, but here we go. So on page 23, we'll start with this paragraph. First question is, why was I chosen for abduction? That would be a great answer, but part of me doesn't want to know, part of me does want to know. I think it would be good for me to know, but I think I've already kind of know. But it would be nice to know. Even if they lie to me, I want the truth is what I would prefer. I don't want lies. I want honesty. And so even if they tell me, I won't know if that's the truth. If I feel like it's not a good answer, And even if I choose not to agree with it, I may be like, well, that's a stupid reason. If they say that's why, if it's something I don't want to hear, or I didn't want to hear. But at least I heard what, if it is true, then it's true. Some people may have been told different things. So there might be different people that know different answers for me. And some may not know the answer, but think they do and bring me that answer. And so I don't know until I know. So anybody that feels they have that answer, great, you can tell me. But I wondered, is it because I'm an empath, or I have another question, is it because I'm also going to ascend and that I'm part of the higher form and you want to be a higher form too? Because I've heard that too. So second question is, are there time travel technology you use and the aliens use, or technology that slows time and space or travels within space-time that doesn't change when you get to another planet? Oh, I've heard about that. Like looping time, like getting to another planet, time regression, or going within some other wormhole to where it's its own no time at all, and then achieving into a time that was where you first started on the other planet. So you're almost like in two places at once. It's pretty impressive, actually. I kind of think that that's possible. I have a feeling that it's possible. I've experienced things, so I may have already had that answer given, but it would be nice if someone told it to me that really knew what I went through and connected to that is what I'm hoping for. That's why I'm asking that question. It's mostly for me and for any that need to know it. And aliens use their technology that slows time. Yes, there is technology that does all that. I already feel that there is. But it'd be nice to see it or witness it, but maybe I don't want to, because I don't want to be messed with it. I've already done it many times, I'm sure, so I don't really need to mess with that anymore. It doesn't change when you get to another planet. Such as hearing people who say they were on Mars in one night for 20 or so years, or the fact that their spirit is a liquid that can be interchanged with clone bodies. Is any of that true? I think it's possible because I've had experiences and dreams myself of that possibility, but I don't know. But I'm open to all of it, regardless if I get told no or yes. I think that the ones that tell me may not know. And if they don't know, they say, yeah, we've seen similarities to that, but what they've seen is different than what maybe others have, and intel they have will be different than what who knows intel. But I think it's all true. So now I will go into something that just in different timelines, maybe not this one, but I think people have seen it, but we don't need to try it out. It's been too overused in many different timelines, I think. But many want to do it so that they can go against others in other timeline wars or whatever, and I just think it needs to stop. We just need to heal and manifest and be safe that way and become one form. And we can be protected from those issues. So now I will go into something that many people avoid, but I won't. Third question is, were we created by aliens and or extraterrestrials? And many aliens say we are their descendants, and do we know if any of their stories and histories are true? I think all of them have truth to them. I think they've all been conjecture, and some of them, I think we're all kind of connected now, interconnected in whatever way. I think it's more complicated than what we think it is, but it's also not as complicated. It's just different forms of connection. If that is true, then if it would change our face of religion. Oh, yes, it would. Basically, we would learn what we want to believe and have belief in, rather than following one form of belief. It's going to be like it already is, but it's going to be a lot easier to understand. It'll be a lot more peaceful because people are going to go their path without trying to hold each other back from the belief the other is. Some will still judge others, but it will be more of a peaceful, less control over one another, and free for all to do what we want. And I think the more enlightened ones will protect others trying to control others that don't want to be. And those that want to be will be part of those control systems. And it's going to be more of a utopia of freedom. And those that don't want freedom will be enslaved because they desire to, but eventually they won't be, because eventually everybody will get tired of it. Unless they like it. But they might change roles, and then eventually they'll become what we've already are. It'll just kind of be a loop. So, okay, so fourth question is also controversial. This is good. Is Christ himself a hybrid, and if so, which alien species? I think Christ is a combination of all beings now. That's what I feel about now, based on what I was told. But, so I wrote this before I understood it, but I think later in the book I might bring that up. But I might not. But I kind of imply it, possibly. I don't know. I wasn't always good at that, but I was inspired in this book, I've noticed, so I might have. So I'm surprising myself. It's kind of cool reading this. So now that we know about what technology can do, we have been shown awesome info on TV shows, as well as alien information and languages. So question 5 is, I personally wonder if the extraterrestrials were on the shows. Yeah, I actually wonder that. Were any extraterrestrials? I think they were. Not, but I mean, like, not in human form. Like, in the form that they are. Were they in that scene? It wasn't just CGI, it was real. Is there shows where they were really real? And they weren't just costume, but they were shown as though they were, but then they weren't. I want to know if any of them was showing their true form, or was shown in the show. I really want to know that. That'd be really cool. Especially in like demon shows and extraterrestrial shows and supernatural type shows. If any of that was maybe not makeup, if any of it was actually real people not in makeup that were their full form of what they look like, or shapeshifters, or whatever they can be. That would be really cool. But maybe they chose not to, even if they were. Maybe they chose to do the makeup because they were in more of an avatar, that they were using clones to walk among us, to hide us, because they don't want the full forms to be, because our germs and their germs can't handle each other, maybe. That could be possible. Or our energies and their energies would intertwine, and it would mess with them more. And so they're not ready until we're ready for the path we want. So, yeah. There you go. And it's possible that they're not even on this planet anymore. I don't know. But yeah, that is a question. So next question is about the law of attraction concepts, if it's being used. Have you personally tried using this yourself in secret government? So the law of attraction, ask, believe, receive. So visualize it, see it, create it in reality. Have you done that from your thoughts and feelings that I'm talking about? Have you been able to manifest and do that in the government or in the programs? Are you doing those things? I think you are, but I don't know if you're choosing to, but I think you can. You've mentioned it in your gateway program. It's declassified that you are utilizing it, but I mean, are you utilizing it in the way that I'm saying we should utilize it in? Because it might be something that you may want to do for a peaceful path, for you and me and all of us. And I always encourage that now. And they already know this, but I'm saying it again just in case they don't. Okay. And then I said, if not, because you feel it doesn't work or takes too much time, then understand this. I'm not afraid of your gun that you possibly have that is said to shoot and kill a creative being, such as much people call ascended beings, or most talk about them being human-like or even being in life. Yeah, so they have this gun that's said, that's Valval and Thor, the Frank Stranges and others brought up. I think it's Frank Stranges that mentioned the idea of a gun that can do that. I think Phil Snyder brought it up too in a little bit, but he changes the story a lot, and so have I. But I understand why he would, and I understand why I do, because we get confused. But he's following a different path of choice, so I don't know if he was really doing it for himself or not. Me, I'm doing it genuinely now. Before, I was doing it for a purpose that I thought needed to be. I thought it was a genuine purpose. Now I'm really genuine. And so I'm noticing that I was genuine back then to a degree. And I'm reading now, noticing it. But I am fully that way now. Even if people don't believe me, I am. And it's not about them having belief in me or not. I really know that I'm following my heart. And that's all that matters to me. So now it sounds like both bad and good entities in a spiritual sense can show up as beings of light. The difference is, why not to me? That question is a rhetorical question because I know it has to do with me being an empath. I still think that, sort of, but I also know that they are showing up in me in the way that they've chosen. But it's also to protect, possibly. But I still wonder why they won't just do it. But I don't want them to do it if it endangers them. So part of me would like them to, but then part of me wants them to be safe. So if they feel that they're powerful enough and safe enough to do it, then do it. But please don't do it if you're not sure. Because I care about you on both sides. I want you to be safe for your path because you're me and I'm you in whatever form. And that's why I think both good and bad beings that I consider good or bad in my way of what I think good and bad is, or their life paths, are doing that and protecting me in their ways because they know I'm going to be them, or I'm a form of them, or have been them. And so they know that they protect, and there's an agreement to balance because they know that the balance is what matters, and we need to stop to those that don't want what the other doesn't want. And I think we're becoming more neutral, all of us, to do that so that we're more free rather than enslaving each other again, so we can be free again and peaceful again. So that question's rhetorical, okay? But yeah, I know it's because of that possibly, but I have a different thought about that now. So just so people know. And maybe you don't know, but I'm telling you for those open. So I always have noticed that only in my dreams that I get visions and ideas, but when in life the aliens put me to sleep, none choose to speak. When I felt government with aliens in my apartment one night, I realized then that you didn't want to discuss things with me due to possible national security risks, maybe your secret government rules, programs, and that if I knew that what was happening to me, that you wouldn't be able to conduct your experiments. What I think is really funny, though, is you chose me to see how far I possibly would go, or maybe to make me a stronger-minded human, maybe even to make me a sleeper agent, not sure. But whatever your purpose is, please let me have my desired life and stop trying to control my mind or controlling others, please. But I want us all to be free, to be healed, and to be provided. We can all manifest. But if you're doing it for the better good of what I would feel is better good, that I personally right now would, not the one that you know or is a secret agent one, if there is one, but me now, this version of me, whatever I am. Please hear it out, because I am doing it from a heart that matters of awareness. What I do know is I trust in creation, and I personally believe and have believed anyone that was abducted should be able to have their life as desired in this life when the truth gets out, or in fact be compensated in this life and the next, as well as the spiritual realm, for all the secret control that was done or allowed on them. That I totally agree. We need freedom, and we need healed, and we need to be provided as compensation for all we went through and others that went through it. Everybody deserves that. And don't hold that. Don't promise and then not give it. That's wrong. That's evil. And that's your choice of path, but we don't want that. This version of us doesn't want that. So you're going to give something you don't want in your version for doing it to a version of us that doesn't want. You're just going to have it happen in the lifetime you're in. And other lifetimes you don't want to have it happen in that is similar to the lifetime you're in now. Not my lifetime of you that I'm in right now, but your lifetime that you're in, any other lifetime similar to the lifetime you are in, individually that is choosing to do it. Makes a complication. Even if you don't understand it, you'll figure it out from the heart. The higher self will explain it to you when you're ready. And even if you're not, you know, and you'll be hit, and you'll realize it. And it's okay. You're choosing what you choose, and it will come at you. Now, the next question I have, as well as a statement to go with it, like before. Captain Valiant Thor and his sort of brother Don Thor, are they enslaved, or are you secret allies with them? Many info that is given to some government officials is not even the whole truth. This is what I want to know. Also, if I ever hear that person is dead, I go, oh, okay, that means they went to the spiritual pool or some realm or whatever, or what? Probably a waiting period, and then that is possible. Energy. Meaning to me they could be reincarnated again, put into a clone, or even live in another dimension or age change. Yeah, makes sense. Possible what they tried to test it out with me. Maybe that's why I went through what I have to see if it would be possible. And now they're realizing it is. Because they're like, hey, maybe we should try that on him. And it feels like maybe I went through that. So now I understand that I am more understanding than I did before in the other timelines and lifetimes, possibly. That's how it feels. I'm becoming more wiser, but we don't need to keep doing that. Let's stop that. So let's just manifest and create healing now. Meaning they can make you young again and put you in a different family. Okay, all of this I go into, as well as more questions that go with inner earth and why keep us from knowing our earth is hollow or honeycomb or whatever it is, or flat, and that the moon and other planets, even stars, are hollow or flat or whatever, or just holograms, and this whatever petri dish we're in, whatever it is. The less information we are given, the more people start thinking and creating new time and dimensional worlds. It's better to explain what is and to stop lying to us. Now, we'll still think other ways, even if you tell us the truth, but at least we'll know, and then keep it to prove it and show us, even if you have not, free us. It's better to explain what is and to stop lying to us. Now, I understand a lot of this deception gave us great new ways and ideas and theories that help with things that became a way to develop tech and other insight we never would have thought of without not being told the truth. The issue is eventually there will be a rise up, not just here on Earth, but in the universe, and all connections of timelines, as well as universe, that will change the fabric ideas of enslavement. So we'll be free, and it's going to correct, and it's meant to. It's already happening now. I've felt it. This is what I mean. I know in my life that we all have ideas. We all want to know what's beyond this world and what we must do in this world to be okay, or even to be our best in the next life. Many people just live this life any way they want without regret due to believe this is it. Well, I know for a fact that if this is it, many people who are disabled or have sickness and can't have a love interest due to others wanting someone healthy is sad. Because life, if that's it, was a poor creation of life creation and development of life's wants and needs. That's why I personally follow the idea of the life of attraction, of the law of attraction, life of attraction. That works too. But idea of the law of attraction. It promotes healthy life and your dreams without feeling guilty, as well as instead of being selfish, you learn to encourage and share your wares with others, as well as instead of being envious, you are more grateful for what you have and what others have and receive, instead of focusing on people are terrible that are rich and the rich people are corrupt. Focus on that not all rich people are that. You yourself are rich and share with others. By encouraging others how to use this, I go into the ways to achieve your dream. Those who are scared of aliens and government, I say don't be. Instead, ask them questions through the universe so that the universe will get them, or just provide you the answers you are looking for through belief, as if it has already happened. That's really cool. See, I'm saying the same thing, and I learned this from Greg Braden information, and I kind of heard this before then, but I really know it now more than I did then. But writing this, I probably was figuring out at the time, because I did update this. As I explain a lot of this info, I go into explaining many awesome tricks and styles of how this works through what I have researched and tried myself. I also go into what I would ask about Valiant Thor, as well as the inner earth people, as well as other beings. I personally want answers just like everyone, but since we can ask till the cows come home and still no info, I learned the best idea. It's using the law of attraction as a group, plus to have a question list ready to, so that when you have the chance to ask, you can. I also don't believe all the news stations out there, both televised or even radio or other means. The reason why is corporations have taken over industries on telling things so that their businesses flourish. Also, CIA and FBI are over government and medical programs. In every business school and everything has been political and secretly infiltrating into everything we choose to believe and choose to eat. At the same time, there are many wholesome and holistic people and programs and healthcare studies and research and practices that actually care about your life and others and know what really does help. Now, the issue is different. I choose not to look for blame, but to create your reality and to be the best person and create the spiritual being that we all can and are inside. That we may be able to change what our reality is and to be best reality that we can and truly are meant to be. Also, learning this helps us to even close the rips in time that are made by Mandela effects, not just by CERN, but by other beings too, as well as government or military or industrial programs, or ourselves. We can heal the rifts or bridge them or help work together and become a whole new form of connection. Our universe and multiverse are broad and huge. We must not fear but create the life we so desire. That it is best for our dreams and future creation we make. I also go into info about religion and explaining we need to know more of what is rather than what we are told. We must pray, follow our hearts, and how the law of attraction works best when we integrate our trust in the religion we choose to believe in with its concepts it explains. So following the belief system you choose that you feel without trying to push others into that. And that everybody is okay whatever they choose to believe. They'll go to their realm that they want to be. That they have belief is real. And even if you don't have belief in that belief system, you'll go to your realm and they'll go to theirs. And it's more unconditional than what others want us to think. And so we're not going to be with each other because others don't want us to be in that realm. I'm going to be in the most peaceful realm there can for me, that is welcomed for me and doesn't pull me away and loves me unconditionally, cares about me, helps me and isn't fearing me, and has belief in me and builds me up, doesn't tear me down. And I want the same for you. So here we go. So on page 27, theories and figuring out ideas of solutions, as well as to understand what it is I saw and came to the realization through the time of putting the experiences and learning enough info on extraterrestrial understandings, time travel, dimensions, both spiritual and extraterrestrial technology, that blocks our own ability of what is around us, as well as the relations of energy, of thought, and connections to the universe through time, space, and parallel universe, and many different dimensions of all types, both unseen and seen, through experiences of others as well as possible dreaming, understanding impossible theories of dreaming. Finally, I explain the idea of the energy of thought connection to create reality instantly now. I also go in helping understand health-wise and smarts to cover all our bases. Again, I am about finding solutions in all situations, but I am biased, but not biased also. I'm biased in choosing a good life over following an evil life. I want a good life that I feel is good. I don't want a life that I feel is evil. And so I'm going to be in the good life. You're going to be in the whatever form of life you want. And it may be evil in my thoughts for that life, but to you, it's what you feel you need. If you feel differently, then you'll go to where you want. And we won't be stuck there forever. We'll be able to adapt and change. We have that ability. We have that power. And put that in there that you'll be able to adapt. And if you don't think about it, you'll always realize it later. You're an amazing being. You always will be. Even if you don't want to be or choose not to be, you'll waken up to it if you feel you need to. That's what's great. So I care for all life, and I believe and have belief. Everyone deserves a chance, like Jesus Christ has spoken. We do, such as having respect for all beliefs. Christ is only one peacemaker, as well as a deity in history that expresses this concept of life, energy, and belief that is called many things by many belief systems. And I don't really necessarily think he's a deity. I think deity is just a concept of the form he is, or she, or he, or that concept of being is. Now, they're more than what we may think from what I experienced. That's the form I saw or felt. And that was really cool. It was able to do what they could do before, but even more. But it was the same. It was just more as peaceful and more balanced with itself than it may have been on Earth. But I don't know. But it seemed loving and forgiving and caring that I cared about it, regardless what it was or is. So, it means by many beliefs, such as the power of chi, faith, and energy of thought provides things you focus on and know are there to appear and to do as you ask of the universe and elements to do, to feel it, to have emotions in it, to feel, heal it, and call it into being from your heart. Is what I'm going to add on to that. So, there we go. So, however, there are many in different religions that express other similar ideas as well. And I respect all faiths, as well as choose not to agree that one is better than the other, as long as they all support the idea of all life and creation, that is for creation, not destruction or slavery. I totally agree with that. That's the path and reality and life and higher form I wish to be part of, is to be free from all of that, from slavery and control of others, to be free to be you and to be healed and to be able to create your own reality of love and to be appreciated and to have people you want in your life to be there. Again, I also believe and have belief in defending one's family and life. Yeah, we should be able to defend our life and family and others if we choose. freedom to do that. But I don't believe in causing harm or putting it unless you feel you must. However, I am more hopeful of things rather than focusing on negative. I focus on the optimistic outcomes, even when it doesn't seem so. At certain times, I believe, or I have belief. It's all about changing your thought and believing and belief in your inner power of love. Ha ha! Following your heart. It's true. And I knew it then. But I finally am doing it now. Following your heart. Your inner truth. That's so cool. After more research, information on understanding this information, such as connection to info, that aliens or secret government. So I knew. I really knew. It's really cool. Or both may know above us, such as research they could or are doing, as well as knowing about things we don't, such as inner Earth people and Venus people who came to try to help us but got declined. I give ideas and solutions on what I would do and recommend us to do personally to get a solution of things that I haven't seen a lot of success in others. Focus on doing, and I have always been someone to find solutions to solve ideas and things. After explaining all these things, I then figure out the idea of relaxing and meditation and finding ways to incorporate that with calming one's fears so a solution can be made efficiently, as well as connections through following what mind thought ideas through quantum physics thought, which is commonly known as the law of attraction. Yep. And I also focus on feeling, thought, and emotion is one. Creating reality is what you desire it to be. It's kind of cool. This is really impressive. I have to say, I'm really explaining this really well. Then also finding solutions by disproving things doesn't solve problems but creates them. Yeah, disproving things doesn't always solve it. It creates more problems of, oh, I disproved that, or I debunked that, or whatever. Even if you debunk stuff, you created it to be seen that way, but you can create it to be the way that you want it to be through your thoughts and beliefs. So someone may disprove your disbelief in something, but I don't really worry about that. I focus on just manifesting my own desire. I don't need to prove anything or have anything proved. I just want things to happen, and I know they can. But those who want to do it with me will be able to do it. It won't be hard for us. To you it may be because you disproved it, but to us we'll do it, and then you'll be jealous of it or try to do it, and then you'll be like, oh, I just realized why I did it this way, and then you'll try to get the fans we got. But it's not about having fans or people in our life. It's about making a peaceful world for us all, so that we're all peaceful, so that even you are. So those that are disproving things or choosing to do that, that's on you. I'm about following my heart and doing that. And I'm not really worried about who does or didn't. I did this for a purpose because I feel it needs to. And the peaceful world is ready, and I want it to happen, and we want it to be made. Those that don't want it will go to the world that they want, and we'll have our peaceful world. So let me have my world, let you have your world. So by making it that way, and then we'll be free. And let's not go to war with each other. Let's be peaceful and make our own realities, forms. Okay? And those that you're enslaving that don't want to be enslaved, give it back to us for us to have them be free. And we don't want to keep ones that don't want to be part of us. We'd want them to be with you if that's where they want to be. But we would want them to be free when they want to be free from you. So make sure you're listening and hearing their heart so they can be free. Or we're going to come and get them out of there. And you may want that. And we don't want that. it's not healthy for you or us in that fashion. So anyway, also finding solutions by disproving things doesn't solve problems but creates. I go into great insight on ideas, both emotional and therapeutic, through my understandings of communication techniques that I've used and many others have to get answers in the best, most respectful, and easiest way possible. I've also done it in other ways, while also learning to believe or have belief in yourself, to get away from fear, even if things are still happening around you, such as abductions, lost time, depression, anxiety, doubt, concern for future and family and world. Then finally, the transition to the next chapter of sections that go into law of attraction and conclusion of the plans and solutions that can help with creating your future as a reality already now. So there we go. That was the overview chapter. Or what did I call it? I think it was book overview. Yeah. So that was page 28. So the next chapter will be chapter 1, my experience and beyond. I'll do that on a new recording. Ooh. This one's pretty long. And that chapter is really short. It goes from 29 to page 35. And then 36 to 43. So chapter 1 and 2 are pretty short chapters. Well, chapter 2 isn't that short, but kinda. Wow, it's cool. But yeah, chapter 1 is a short one. Yeah, so I think it's really chapter 2 is the one that really is what I explained affected me. Yeah, so chapter 2 is really going to be the one. So when I do those chapters, I think on chapter 2, I'll probably put a lot of those pictures that will just be simultaneously, I don't know if that's really the word or way. Basically, I'm going to put it on a repeat shuffle, possibly. I'll just put pictures back and forth, or I'll just keep one picture for a time that I feel. I'll figure it out when that happens. I'll go by my inspiration that I feel at the time. And I feel like what I'll do is I'll put, after I read that chapter, I'll put what I feel needs to be put in that chapter. But chapter 2 will probably have my alien perception experience of showing all the things I witnessed. Sketches that I've done, showing what I've seen. I have some sketches that I've taken pictures of and uploaded. I'm going to use those sketches and show you those. I'm also going to grab some other sketches and maybe take pictures of them and upload those and put them in a format as well. I've already shown videos on my regular on the Samuel Burbidge channel of that experience, showing you those sketches. And I've already done pictures of them, showing them on my Facebook page. But this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put all of these links and explanations on my Facebook page and everything, and letting people know, here's the videos, here we go. And I'll put some videos on there, and then I'll put some videos on YouTube. YouTube will be the main ones I put them on, and then I'll just share them on the Facebook. But yeah, I'll do some really good video, and then I might do a video for Facebook, and then I'll do a video for YouTube if I decide to. But for now, this is what I've done. And then if anybody wants a question and answer format, you'll have to reach out to me, and I'll do a question and answer live viewing or a life feed. I'm going to call it a life feed rather than a live feed. It's not because live is evil. So I would say life is more, live file is more of a more better way to put it. So you can see me doing it live and showing it real time, and you'll see that on possibly Facebook. I'll try to do that on YouTube eventually when I have enough followers, if I get there. But if people want to come out and talk to me and have a showing, I'll do a showing for it, and I'll let people know, and we can watch it together. I don't really have a way to do it. I can try to do a party, but I don't know how to follow through with it. But there you go. So, yeah. So chapter 1 is next, but I'll do that on another recording. So I wanted to let you know. See, I did it under 3 hours. I did it under 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's awesome. So yeah, I bless you all. Anybody that wants to reach out to me, there's a couple of ways you can. You can go to Twitter, and you can find me on Instagram somehow. But Twitter, I have is what I use most often. I use Facebook when I feel I need to, and I use YouTube channel. So way you can reach me is my phone number is 801-499-4494. I do block calls, but I record every call that I take, and I'm a minister for my own belief of energy healing. I don't really follow any belief system or religion. I'm just more of a peaceful for all the world as an unconditional, we're all forgiven type of way, and we're all going to go wherever we would feel we want to go. There's no conditions to it. Others that want the conditions, you're putting the conditions on it, and if that's the way that it goes, then that's what you'll have. Whatever happens, I'm going to be okay, and I feel great, and I'll have what's needed for me, and I'll be peaceful and loved, and I'll understand it, and I'll be okay with it, and I don't feel like I'm going to be anywhere bad. I like to focus on positive, optimistic focuses. There's times that I'm negative, and I've been negative to my mom and stuff, and family and texts when I've been down, and when I don't feel like any of them want to meditate or do those things with me, but that's okay. That's their choice, decision. But if they really knew me, the real person I really am, even with those feelings, I've chosen to pull away because of that reason of what I noticed it was putting me in, and their lack of recognizing what I feel I need and have noticed and have been inspired to do. So I just need to follow my inspiration and go with it no matter what happens. So I care. Their doubts of me and fears, I push away, I bless and hope. And no matter what happens to me, I know I'll be okay. So please, those of you that want to heal with me, that know I need that, and I do fervently desire that, so that we can make this happen right. And if you don't blame yourself, or if any bad happens to anyone or me or anybody. Whatever happens, happens, and we can correct it, but please don't miss this time to correct it. Let's just heal it through manifesting. That's how we can correct reality. We don't need to use a time machine or things. We are our own time machines. We are our own abilities to create reality and heal the rifts and everything through our thoughts, feelings, as we can bring people back to life, like Christ could do and others have said to have been able to do. And belief in that power means we now never shall die, we'll always live. However, we'll have life. We'll always be free and at peace. So there we go. So I thank you. I bless you. Those of you that would like my book and have enjoyed reading along with me and don't have it, or have been listening to me read it, you can go to Amazon.com, and it's $3 for the ebook. I think it's like $19.99 for the softbound, and the other. I eventually want to put them all low if I can, when I have the means and the feelings that I need to, I will. If you have Prime, it will probably be cheaper getting it with Prime. I'm not sure, but I just want to let the Prime membership. But I want you to know that I care about you, I love you, and I'm doing this for free. If you don't want to buy the book, at least you can hear it and hear my perspective and information of what I really meant by it, rather than guessing by reading it. Because this is what I now have belief in rather than what I did then. I have a different perspective, but the different perspective is still similar perspective to what I felt back then. And I'm noticing it. I was awake. I just wasn't fully authentic awake, but I was. I was bleeding through the good, not bleeding bad, but my heart was opening up fully spiritually. My higher form was inspiring me to be what I know I'm seeing now. And even more so than maybe I'm even seeing for the future. So there you go. So I bless you for those that want to be blessed. Those that want to do meditation with me or think over the phone or find me, I'm in Bountiful, Utah. But my name is Samuel Durbridge. You can reach me at 801-499-4494. You can also email me at durbidgesamuel@gmail.com. G as in George, Gmail. And then you can also talk to me about a time, what you would want, what you're emailing me about, and if you want to share your own story and have me share it on my channel, put it together for you, I want to do that too. No one's really done that with me yet. Those that have tried to reach out, somehow maybe I haven't, but I'm okay if no one does. I'm more about let's just manifest things as my full focus. And I'm okay if people choose not to there, but we do need to, and it would be better. And I don't want to hold that from people. And if people are trying to stop people from doing that and misleading them, I know that the ones being misled will be brought back or be brought to people that may be better for them than what I could. But I hope that they're not being pushed into false slavery when they could have just come with me to be healed and freed. And so let's do that for those that can and are able to. I respect what I know by what I can do, but I am in Utah and I am in the States, and I would prefer people in the States and in the USA to call me and talk to me and follow the law of the land forms. I don't, talking to someone in another country, I'm going to talk in the way that I feel I can talk and honestly, and I don't want you to be affected if you're doing something that your land doesn't want you to. But openly being what you feel you can and being honest and free is what I and others will do. So there we go. That's how that works. So my experiences and beyond, it starts on page 29 and it goes to page 35. So I'll do that in a new recording. Probably do that tomorrow. But I did want to tell you that it's 8:04 p.m. and it is Thursday, February 20th, 2020. I finished this recording with telling you I have my whole heart with you, and I care and I appreciate your time and patience. And I have a lot more to express and tell. So hopefully this gets on my channel, which I want to. Regardless, I was able to do it with my heart to get it ready. So I love you, I appreciate you, and I'm so ready for this world to be a peaceful world. And I know the more I express this, the more free society starts. So thank you for your time. I bless you all. And your reality is already happened, already happened, already happened, already happened. Think it, say it, feel it. It's already happened. See it, feel it, notice it. It's already, visualize it. It's already real. It's already there. You have it, you have it, you have it. Bless it, bless it, bless it. And then it's already done. It's already done. Now, now, now. We can do that for 3 minutes. And if we need to do it longer, we can do it longer. And we'll do it as long as me and you have time to do it, and we can adapt to that. So I bless you. I forgive all beings and all things that are trying to mislead me and you from things. And I appreciate all of you, and I'm so grateful Thank you so much. Take care. And I will talk to you later. Maybe I'll read it tonight or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. But I am done. Now I can start on the chapters, which is the most important forms. But I think what I just read was the best introduction for the book I could possibly explain it in. We're about to explain a lot more to it, though. So stay tuned. Be ready. Get into the new. I'm going to post all these videos at once and try to put them together. If they're out of order, forgive me. Just find them in my book or ask me or comment, and I can try to lead you to the next recording. So I appreciate you all. And there we go. We're done.